Not Too Late at 58, the podcast for those of a certain age who say, yes, why not? Hello and welcome to this podcast series called Not Too Late at 58, to start your own business. I'm Annie Weir and I turned a lifetime dream into a reality when I was 58, when I finished and published my first novel. So I'm living proof that it is not too late at 58. Hence the name and hence my new passion to help other people of a certain age to achieve their ambitions. And just a couple of things to make clear. You don't actually need to be 58, of course. You don't actually need to want to write a novel, although it is the ambition of a lot of people, and I will tackle that in a future series of podcasts. And many people I speak to say they wish they'd started their own business when they were younger. And I say, well, why not do it now? It's not too late at 58 to start your own business. This series of 10 episodes will address some aspects of starting your own business. And future series, as I say, will include novel writing, business book writing, and getting your training sessions online. So if you'd like to know more about me and Not Too Late at 58, just hop back to the first episode of the first series. This episode is called Cash is King, and it's about some of the financial aspects of running a business. So when you come to translate all your background planning and your market research work into money and profit, you'll need to consider how much money you need to take from your business for yourself to live on. And you can do a personal survival budget for this. You add up all the money that your household needs, deduct any other income that you have coming in, like from a partner or something like that, and that will show you how much you need to be able to take from your new business. You also need to think about what your pre-start costs are and how they're going to be covered, things like business cards and advertising, as well as equipment that you need to buy, or legal costs that you may incur, stock you might need to get into place, premises if you need them. And you need to think about as well how these costs will be covered to get you going in your business. And then you move on to the cash flow forecast for year one and the profit and loss account. Now, we cover all this in detail in the online course, Not Too Late at 58 to Start Your Own Business. And there is a spreadsheet to help you do all of this. And forecasting your cash flow is a key part. And you may have heard the expression, cash is king. And this is very true, because if you run out of cash, you are stuck. And your profit and loss account is different, but equally important in the longer term. And you need to be wary of being cash rich but not very profitable for in the long term, and of being cash poor but really profitable, and therefore with the liability for paying tax when the time comes. So here are some examples of how the cash flow and the profit and loss can look different to each other. So if you buy a piece of capital equipment, for example, that will show in your cash flow as money going out, as a purchase, if you will. But in the profit and loss, you will actually only show the depreciation on that equipment in that financial year. And this is because you still hold it as an asset in the company and it still has a value. And in this instance, the cash flow will appear to be less favourable than the profit and loss P&L. Another example is if you need to hold stock, if you buy and hold stock in your business, at the end of the financial year, you'll need to calculate the value of the stock that you're holding at that time and deduct that figure. And again, your cash flow will give a less favourable picture than your P&L because you've already paid the money out. So your cash flow shows money as it comes into and goes out of your business. If people pay you instantly, then the figures for cash flow and P&L will tend to be the same. But if you invoice your customers and they don't pay immediately, you will need to add on this payment onto your P&L. So again, your cash flow will give a less favourable picture than your profit and loss, because you are still, you've earned the money in that time, so you're still expecting that money to come in. So you need to keep a track of who owes you what money and get it in as soon as possible. And conversely, if you have bought anything on credit and you still owe that amount, your cash flow will look healthier than the reality, which is that you still owe that money that needs to be paid back sometime soon. And just one last thing on this kind of overview. Please note that if you are a sole trader, the drawings that you take to cover your personal survival budget are not part of your profit and loss account. That is, the drawings are not tax deductible. So you need to make sure that you have enough in your personal account to pay your tax when it's due. You can estimate your profit and loss as the year moves on. I tend not to do it early on. But I caution you again that it's not the same as cash flow unless you deal completely in cash, buying and selling. But by keeping an eye on that part of the accounting process, you will have a method of monitoring how your profit or loss is shaping up as the year moves on. And this will give you an indication, of course, how viable your business will be and whether you need a loan of some sort to see you through, especially the first year. So the spreadsheets that I referred to are available here as a download if you'd like them. Just click on the link below. Page 1, the left-hand tab at the bottom, is the pre-start costs that I mentioned just now, and then the cash flows in the middle and the profit and loss at the end. And you may find after doing all this work that you do need a loan to help you through the early days, and there's a company called startuploans.co.uk who are very good for new businesses. So before we finish, a quick reminder that I have reduced the cost of Not Too Late at 58 online courses to under £50 and the cost of the books to under £8, 50 and 8, 58. So this means that if you sign up for the Not Too Late at 58 to start your own business, it will now cost only £47. Or you can buy the 9 modules one at a time for £5.80 per module. And as I said before, in the online course, we go into a lot more depth about what I've covered in these podcasts, and there are loads of useful downloads for you. And the links for both ways of doing the course are below. In the next series of 10 podcasts, I will share with you some interviews that I've done with people of a certain age, all fascinating in their own way and all having done different things later in life. So I'll say thanks for listening today, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.